Hi guys, we might as well do a little bit more reading late in the evening. So let's have our reading um, regarding the Bible. So let me see if I can get you guys sitting up here with me. Hold on. All right. Now, guys, I kept talking about the circumcision. So I want to tell you what that means. Uh, they started the circumcision. Uh, The circumcision was an inward ring, say for instance, you get married and the bridegroom give a wife a ring. Abraham was circumcised like 90 years old. He was the first one to get the circumcision. And this was a token. God said, "This is a token to me of our commitment together." So that's why his foreskin was circumcised. Uh, So Abraham started the tradition, and then Isaac kept it going with all of the males. All males would be circumcised to show the commitment to God. And then, God promised 6 or 7 commitments to Abraham in the beginning. And then he said, as a token to me, you will get yourself circumcised. And then his son, he had his son circumcised. Then his son had his son, they kept getting their children circumcised. So it's like a ring, an inward ring from the bridegroom to the bride. That's what the circumcision indicate, that we are married, we're in covenant from male to God. That's what it indicates. And God said, I will take care of you and your offspring. And that's on and on, years and years is what he's saying. Because when Noah came back after the flood, he said, be fruitful and multiply the earth with seed. So that's why he had 2 of everything in that ark, because he wanted to start the world over with the seed of mankind. And so he took Noah because Noah was committed. And, Abraham was committed. Isaac was committed. Jacob was committed. And when he finds someone committed, then he is invested and committed as well. And so that's what it's all about. And that's what the faith in him is all about. We're going to be on Exodus 6 for our reading. Okay, and we're going to keep going from there. I'm in a little darker room, so let's see if I can. Okay, so the answer of Jesus, Jehovah, the answer of God, it says, then the Lord said unto Moses, now shalt thou see what I will do to Pharaoh. Now you remember in 5, there was a contest with Pharaoh. He was contesting. Moses graciously said, would you allow me to take them on a 3-day journey to pray in the wilderness or whatever? No, you're not going to do it. Go back and do what I told you to do. This is Pharaoh, right? And he told the people, the stewards of work, don't give them nothing to work with. Let them go get it for themselves. Don't give them brick. Don't give them straw. Don't give them nothing. Make their burdens harder so that their work will be longer and they will be tired when they finish. They won't have energy to worry about going out in the wilderness. Make it harder on them. That's what Pharaoh's doing. Okay, so we're in 6 now. So let's see if my eyes can work here in this dark room. Um, God spake unto Moses and said unto him, I am the Lord. And I appeared unto Abraham, unto Isaac, and unto Jacob by the name of God Almighty. But by my name, Jehovah, was I not known to them. And I have also established my covenant with them to give them the land of Canaan, the land of their pilgrimage, wherein they were strangers. Okay, so he says, I've established a covenant to give them this land. Okay. I have also heard the groaning of the children of Israel, whom the Egyptians keep in bondage, and I have remembered my covenant. Wherefore say unto the children of Israel, I am the Lord, and I will bring you out from under the burden of the Egyptians, and I will rid you out of their bondage. I will redeem you with a stretched out arm and with great judgments. And I will take you to me for a people, and I will be to you a God, and ye shall know that I am the Lord your God, which bringeth you out from under burdens of the Egyptians. And I will bring you unto the land concerning the which I did swear to give it to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob. And I will give it to you for an heritage. I am the Lord. And Moses spake and said unto the children of Israel, but they hearkened not unto Moses for anguish of spirit and for cruel bondage. They did not listen to Moses, just like Moses said. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Go in, speak unto Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and he let the children of Israel go out of his land. And Moses spake before the Lord, saying, Behold, the children of Israel have not hearkened unto me. How then shall Pharaoh hear me? Who am I, who am of uncircumcised lips? And the Lord spake unto Moses and unto Aaron, and gave them a charge unto the children of Israel, and unto Pharaoh, king of Egypt, to bring the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. So he says, he laid it upon them to do so, right? Now the families of Israel, it says, these be the heads of their father houses, the sons of Reuben, the firstborn of Israel, Hanok, and Pelu, Hezron, the Carmi. These be the families of Reuben. And the sons of Simeon, Jemuel, and Jamin, Ohad. So they're naming all of the sons. This is then there's Levi's son, according to the generations of Gresham and Korah, different areas, according to their generations. All of them had so many sons. All the way down here to the end, it says, these are that Aaron and Moses, to whom the Lord said, Bring out the children of Israel from the land of Egypt according to their armies. These are they which spake to Pharaoh, king of Egypt, to bring out the children of Israel from Egypt. These are that Moses and Aaron. So they named all of these different names here, all of the sons of the leaders. And then in 28 of 6, it says, the renewed commission. And it came to pass on the day when the Lord spake unto Moses in the land of Egypt, that the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, I am the Lord, speak thou unto Pharaoh, king of Egypt, all that I say unto thee. And Moses said before the Lord, Behold, I am of uncircumcised lips, and how shall Pharaoh hearken unto me? Okay, so hold on a minute. I'm going to explain to you what he's saying here. When he said he's on uncircumcised lips, he says, what a frustrating and disappointing relationship this can often be. Aaron is Moses' mouthpiece, in part because of Moses' own lack of faith in himself. Another significant description here is the hardening of Pharaoh's heart throughout the story of Israel's deliverance. Both God and Pharaoh play a role in this process, which will ultimately bring great sorrow and destruction to the Egyptians through the plague and defeat in the Red Sea. So, Moses was not of great faith, so Aaron was basically speaking on his behalf. Now, when we get up here on 7, it says, And the Lord said unto Moses, See, I have made thee a god to Pharaoh, and Aaron thy brother shall be thy prophet. Thou shalt speak all that I command thee, and Aaron thy brother shall speak unto Pharaoh, that he send the children of Israel out of his land. Amen. So basically, in this chapter, you see that Moses has a good heart to do the work, but he don't have the strength of his ability to do it. You know what I'm saying? He don't believe in himself enough, because he said, I'm of uncircumcised. He don't have the faith that Aaron has. That's why he's not able to do those speaking and things like that. But you know, he's not as strong as strengthening within himself. Now it says, but the Lord put the strength in him. He put it in him. It says, and I will harden Pharaoh's heart and multiply my signs and my wonders in the land of Egypt. But Pharaoh shall not hearken unto you, that I may lay my hand upon Egypt and bring forth mine armies and my people, the children of Israel, out of the land of Egypt by great judgments. And the Egyptians shall know that I am the Lord, when I stretch forth mine hand upon Egypt and bring out the children of Israel from among them. And Moses and Aaron did as the Lord commanded them, so did they. And Moses was 80 years old, and Aaron 83 when they spake unto Pharaoh. And the Lord spake unto Moses and unto Aaron, saying, When Pharaoh shall speak unto you, saying, Shew a miracle for you, then thou shalt say unto Aaron, Take thy rod and cast it before Pharaoh, and it shall become a serpent. So basically, the Lord said, I'm going to do some judgment, some judging on them. So I'm going to instill some different things upon them, that they could see the movement in the hand of God, so that they could believe. They had to see the judgments come upon them so that they can believe that God was real, and that what Moses and Aaron was saying was true. Because God said, this is what he said to Moses. He said, Pharaoh is not going to let those people come out of Israel, children come out by what you say. He said, they're going to come out because they're going to see what I'm going to do by the move of my hand. When I put the judgment upon them and they see my infliction, that it have to be from God. It cannot be from man. So, you know what I'm saying? So it's not by Moses. He said it's going to be by me. He said, but you're going to say what I tell you to say. and I'm going to move my hand upon them and do different things so that they will believe it's exactly from who you say it's from. So this is what's going down. Okay, so the first and the second miracle. So Moses and Aaron went in unto Pharaoh, and they did so, just as the Lord had commanded. Aaron cast down his rod before Pharaoh and before his servant, and it became a serpent. Then Pharaoh also called the wise men and the sorcerers. He called his people. Now the magician of Egypt, they also did in like manner with their enchantments. For they cast down every man his rod, and they became a serpent. But Aaron's rod swallows up the rods. This is the Lord. He swallows up all of the rods. And he hardened Pharaoh's heart, that he hearkeneth not unto them, as the Lord has said. His heart is getting harder now. He's getting colder now. And he still didn't do what the Lord said. So now here we go. In 7 it says, And the Lord said unto Moses, Pharaoh's heart is hardened. He refuses to let the people go. Get thee unto Pharaoh in the morning. Lo, he goeth out unto the water, and thou shalt stand by the river's bank against he come. And the rod which was turned to a serpent shalt thou take in thy hand, and thou shalt say unto him, The Lord God of the Hebrews hath sent me unto thee, saying, Let my people go, that they may serve me in the wilderness. And behold, here too, thou wouldest not hear. Thus saith the Lord, in this thou shalt know that I am the Lord. Behold, I will smite the rod that is in my hand upon the waters which are in the rivers, and they shall be turned to blood. And the fish that is in the river shall die, and the river shall stink, and the Egyptians shall loathe to drink of the water of the river. See, that's their drinking water. He finna mess with the drinking water. And the Lord spake unto Moses, and say unto Aaron, Take thy rod, and stretch out thine hand upon the waters of Egypt, upon their streams, and upon their rivers, and upon their ponds, and upon all their pool of water, that they may become blood, and that there may be blood throughout all the land of Egypt, both in vessels of wood and in vessels of stone. And Moses and Aaron did so as the Lord commanded, and he lifted up the rod and smote the waters that were in the river in the sight of Pharaoh and in the sight of his servants, and all the waters that were in the river turned to blood, and the fish that were in the river died, and the river stank, and the Egyptians could not drink of the water in the river, and there was blood throughout all of the land of Egypt. And the magicians of Egypt did so with their enchantments, and Pharaoh's heart was hardened. Neither did he hearken unto them as the Lord had said. See, he kept making his sorcerers or his musicians do certain things that were similar, so he didn't believe them. And Pharaoh turned and went into his house, and neither did he set his heart to this also. And all the Egyptians digged round about the river for water to drink, for they could not drink of the water of the river. And 7 days were fulfilled after that the Lord had smitten the river. Now, in here in chapter 8, the contest with Pharaoh, he's still going on. Okay, this is 8. Let me see how many minutes I'm at. I'm going to see if I can get through 8. It says, And the Lord spake unto Moses, Go unto Pharaoh and say unto him, Thus saith the Lord, Let my people go, that they may serve me. And if thou refuse to let them go, behold, I will smite all the borders with frogs, and the river shall bring forth frogs abundantly, which shall go up and come into thine house, and into thy bedchamber, and upon thy bed, and into the house of thy servants, and upon the people, and into thine ovens, and into the kneading doughs. So he's putting frogs all over the place. and the frog shall come up both on thee and upon thy people and upon all thy servants. And the Lord spake unto Moses, say unto Aaron, stretch forth thine hand with thy rod over the streams, over the rivers, over the ponds, and cause frogs to come up upon the land of Egypt. And Aaron stretched out his hand over the waters of Egypt, and the frogs came up and covered the land. And the magicians did so with their enchantments, and brought up frogs upon the land. Then Pharaoh called for Moses and Aaron and said, entreat the Lord that he may take away the frogs from me and from my people, and I will let the people go, that they may do sacrifice unto the Lord. And Moses said unto Pharaoh, glory over me. When shall I entreat for thee and for thy servants and for thy people to destroy the frogs from thee and thine houses, that they may remain in the river only? And he said, tomorrow. And he said, be it according to thy word, that thou mayest know that there is none like unto the Lord our God. And the frogs shall depart from thee, and from thy house, and from thy servants, and from thy people, and they shall remain in the rivers only. And Moses said unto Aaron, Moses and Aaron went out from Pharaoh, and Moses cried unto the Lord because of the frogs which he had brought against Pharaoh. And the Lord did according to the word of Moses. And the frogs died out of the houses, and out of the villages, and out of the fields. And they gathered them together upon heaps, and the land stank. But when Pharaoh saw that there was respite, he hardened his heart, and hearkened not unto them, as the Lord had said. And the Lord said unto Moses, say unto Aaron, stretch out thy rod, and smite the dust of the land, that it may become lice throughout all the land. So now he's making lice. And they did so. For Aaron stretched out his hand with his rod, and smote the dust of the earth, and it became lice in man and in beasts. All the dust of the land became lice throughout all the land of Egypt. And the magicians did so with their enchantments. They was doing everything. They did so. But they could not. So there were lice upon man and upon beast. Then the magician said unto Pharaoh, this is the finger of God. And Pharaoh's heart was hardened, and he hearkened not unto them, as the Lord had said. And the Lord said unto Moses, rise up early in the morning, and stand before Pharaoh. Lo, he cometh forth to the water. And say unto him, thus saith the Lord, let my people go, that they may serve me. Else if thou wilt not let my people go, behold, I will send swarms of flies upon thee, and upon the servants, and upon the people, and upon the houses, and upon the Egyptians, full swarms of flies, and also the ground whereon they are. And I will sever in the day of the land sheen in which my people dwell, that no swarms of flies shall be there, to the end thou mayest know that I am the Lord in the midst of the earth. And I will put a division between my people and thy people. Tomorrow shall this sign be. And the Lord did so, and there came a grievous swarm of flies into the house of Pharaoh, and into the servant's house, and in all the land. And Pharaoh called for Moses and for Aaron, and said, go ye, sacrifice to your God in the land. And Moses said, it is not meet so to do, for we shall sacrifice the abomination of the Egyptians to the Lord our God. Lo, shall we sacrifice the abomination of the Egyptians before their eyes, and will they not stone us? We will go 3 days, journey into the wilderness, and sacrifice to the Lord thy God, as he shall command us. And Pharaoh said, I will let you go, that you may sacrifice to the Lord your God in the wilderness. Only ye shall not go very far away. Entreat for me. And Moses said, Behold, I go out from thee, and I will entreat the Lord that the swarm of flies may depart. So Pharaoh said, I want you to get these flies out of here. Because what happened with the magicians, they couldn't do the flies. They couldn't do that. They said, This is the finger of God. The magicians told him that it was, they said, This is the finger of God. They said, This is not a hoax. Because they kept thinking that Aaron and Moses was doing some kind of hokey pokey, because they could do the same thing. But this thing right here, they couldn't do. So they told Pharaoh, they said, This is the finger of God. So he told them, I'm going to let you take your people out of here to do what you have to do. Just entreat this, get these flies out of here, these swarms of flies. And so the Lord did according to the word of Moses, and he removed the swarms of flies from Pharaoh, from his servants, from his people. There remained not one. And Pharaoh hardened his heart at this time also, neither would he let the people go. He still, after this thing was removed, he said, No, you can't go. See, he need those people because that's how he make his money with the people, right? He said, You can't go. So now we're going to pick up in verse 9 right here. It says, in verse 9, this is going to be really hard right here because you're going to do something very grievous. And his wife going to come in and say, you need to let the people, you need to stop changing your mind. Because what happened is, the thing would be so bad, he'll call Moses and say, Okay, I'm gonna let him go. He did this twice, 2 or 3 times. Then he turned around and said, No, I changed my mind. I'm not gonna let him go. After this thing was taken up off of him, the flies, the frogs, he said, Okay. Then he said, No, they're not going nowhere. Okay. So we're gonna get on verse 9 next. Take a break.